Fighter was a big deal.
This new arcade machine's out, it's amazing, it's going to take the world by storm.
I've just played Street Fighter 2. He was almost shaking, right? I said, oh, what's it like?
The graphics were extraordinary.
There was a guy throwing sonic booms, and there's a stretchy guy.
Flying sidekick into uppercut. It was great.
Everything came together to create an amazing arcade experience.
It became this two kids in the arcade squaring off versus one another, as opposed to one kid fighting for the high score on the machine.
It was such a popular arcade that there was a queue of people.
We were stacking quarters in that sucker all day long.
You would get on there for maybe one game, get absolutely thrashed, and then you're just watching.
Winner stays, loser pays.
Everyone who played it loved it.
Older players, teenage players, they didn't feel stupid or childish playing this game.
It was like Nirvana or Terminator 2 or anything else in the 90s that was a must-see movie or a must-have album.
Suddenly, the competitive play exploded.
And everybody wanted to prove who was the best.
If you're a top-tier Street Fighter player, that a certain level of kudos comes with it.
It probably brought in more female game players than ever before.
Street Fighter was a $100 million business.
So are you telling me that if we just add a couple more characters and we allow them to be the same character and play the same game, we can run this thing again? He said, not only can we run it again, I think it'll be bigger.
I tried to accentuate the fact that he could do like that.
Console version was being discussed. The fact that was even possible just seemed crazy it would even fit on the Super Nintendo, right?
It was an amazing conversion. It was absolutely spot on.
Those who had consoles and had the game, there were gatherings of people.
Everybody got it.
The arcade experience in your home. No one wanted to miss out on that.
Super Nintendo version really did fuel console rivalries.
Because it came out on SNES before Mega Drive, and I was a Sega guy.
The battle lines were drawn between Sega and Nintendo.
You have this explosion that's equal to Super Mario. With that came the merchandising.
Anything they could slap a name on.
Back in the 90s, everything had a board game, and Street Fighter 2 had two different ones.
That's kind of like saying, I have Street Fighter 2 Monopoly.
Everywhere we went, it was all about Street Fighter. It was crazy.
Why has Chun-Li got a flintlock pistol?
The movie was going to be massive.
Capcom paid for the whole picture, which was $35 million, and they made $130 million.
There was a lot of action going on.
Everything that can go wrong on a movie went wrong on this one.
Like, it's Van Damme. He's ripped, he's got the moves, and he's got the physique.
Oh my god, that's Kylie Minogue!
Jean-Claude Van Damme doesn't look like Guile.
Just his hair looked almost orange rather than blonde.
Do we cast martial artists and hope they can act, or do we cast actors and we will teach them to fight?
Ryu's Hadouken was just a flash, they just put a white frame in. Is that it?
This was the first action movie a whole generation of kids was allowed to see. It was baby's first action movie.
And then the anime. Now this is what we need.
I love making memories, and these characters enabled me to do that.
Scene of Saga and Ryu on that windy storm.
It was darker, it was more faithful.
That was Street Fighter, right?
It enriched the mythology.
Although there have been imitators and people that have tried to copy the format.
You went to every single arcade, it was Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, just trading spaces and staying in the top 5 forever, for over a year.
Street Fighter 2 was the first one, and it's the one everyone remembers.
These characters have stood the test of time.
There was just something magic about it.
It's always going to represent a moment in time that got something exactly right.
It's wonderful 30 years later that we're still talking about something that was so iconic and cult and still popular with everybody today. It's fantastic to be part of it.
Game over!